those out of the way early, which means we'll probably be searching hard for that last one. That's how it usually goes.
Yes, so while we wait for the Benjinator to come back, we can take a little moment to talk about Soul Blazer. This was a game on Super Nintendo. It was released in the 90s, and Mr. LeHulk, who is actually playing right now, decided that it would be fun to make a randomizer of this game. So what you can expect in this game is that everything is randomized. Items, PNGs, and it's not quite a difficult game if you want to start this game, but what you need to learn is that in this game you kill layers that gives you item or PNGs. And what you need to learn if you want to play the randomizer is that some of these layers are useless because they only open new shortcuts or things like that that you don't need to have progression in the game. So not a lot of technique to learn to actually beat the game, more like memorizing which layer needs to go to be killed or which you don't have to do to hurry up and finish the game as fast as possible.
Right, right. And that's one of the things. That's one of the things about this game is there's definitely a lot to learn in order to be able to complete it quickly. I would say there is technical aspects in like minor optimizations, like positioning, magic usage, if we find any of those.
Yes, and already they found Mary, which is progression because Mary opens the way to Act 6. So that's a good PNG to have in the beginning also. Even though you don't use it before still a moment, but it's nice to have her already.
I'm guessing PNG is the French equivalent of NPC.
Oh, sorry, yes. I'm sorry, English is not my first language. So yeah,
Ah,
NPC, sorry.
it's fine. I understood.
So very close race so far. Both our runners are going at the at the water shrine because they couldn't find the progression in Act 1. No armor so far, but with this sword it should be pretty easy. As I said, that Solar just died, and
Uh,
he's
that,
going back right away.
that death was PNG manipulation.
So we're still trying to get Benjinator back in the game. We're sorry for this. Should be back soon. Oh, and we have a forfeit. Benjinator just forfeit because his system crashed. So we are not going to see Benjinator racing today. We're sorry for this. Poor Benjinator. We're sorry for your problems, but thank you for trying to play this anyways, Benjinator. And I'm sorry for your problems.
I see. That's unfortunate. But at least we'll have the other racers continuing on today.
Yes, yes, of course. So this has become a two-way race. Yeah, I'm sorry, Victus, I mean. So far, it's a good beginning of the seed. Lots of useful things they found. Model Town 2 is just released right now.
Hmm. This seems pretty standard from my experience so far. These seats tend to open up very quickly and give you a lot of options early.
Now, the statues that the Stellar Cell is trying to beat are very hard to beat at this point on level 4, but since he has such a powerful seed, it makes it powerful sword, sorry, it makes it look easy. But when you're low on HP, usually those statues can give you a lot of damage.
Oh yes, those statues are Those statues are at their worst when the layer spawns multiple of them at once, because they're all invincible until they land, and when like a dozen statues land at once, they'll all shoot bullets at you. When it's a single one like that, it's possible to chase it down. When it's a lot of them, it's hard to deal with. And Lehulk has just found the bubble armor, so that means the seabed will be open to us very soon.
Yes, and he also found his second stone already. So a very good beginning so far. I think they must
Yeah,
be pretty happy with what they have. Having an armor at this point is also very good. Sometimes you get to Act 3 and you don't even have an armor so far. So they're well equipped to begin with. We shouldn't see so much game over from our players today.
yeah. Unfortunately, the bubble armor means there will be no drowning runs today. One of the few sequence breaks possible in this is that it's possible to travel along the seabed without the bubble armor by just taking damage the whole time. But this requires a lot of HP and herbs to manage it. Unfortunately, if we have the bubble armor, well, we won't be seeing that today.
Yep, and already 4 emblems also. So, oof, I hope for them it's not a pedestal seed. Getting emblems at the beginning of the game is kind of annoying because you could have other more useful items. So, ugh. So
Yeah,
again, sorry.
I was going to say that's
Again,
true. It might be a while before we find many more useful things.
yes, and so far, this is our second year of the tournament, as I was saying earlier, and our racers are playing for a beautiful prize this year, an illustration done by a Switzerland artist, a unique piece that will win. And we also want to take this time to say that all the viewers, there will be a raffle to win this illustration tomorrow at the final of the race. Oh, and Leolk just unlocked the wine mill, which is no, the water mill, sorry, which is actually needed to do the basement of Act 1 of the underground. So we just found some progression, but I think he didn't find the bridge yet, right?
Correct. I did not see the bridge on his screen.
Okay, so it's still not accessible. But usually the bridge is needed to. Oh, and another stone from Leolk. Wow! 4 stone in the beginning of the game like this. Wow. So our racers are pretty close at this point.
Oh, well, there's the bridge. So that
Oh,
is
there's the bridge.
now.
So I wonder if he'll go right back to Act 1 or if he'll continue with Act 2. Because what we said about the sword also is that some enemies can only be killed with specific sword. So metal enemy can only be killed with the Sansetsu sword, and spirit's enemy can only be killed with the spirit sword. So when you go into the second temple, the second shrine of Act 2, which is fire shrine, you get metal enemy, and sometimes you want to avoid going in there if you can, because you don't have the metal sword, Santetsu sword, I mean, and it means you will have to come back and lose some more time. So I don't know what the Leolk is gonna do on second after Water Shrine.
Ooh, Lehulk just found one of the ivies for World 1 that opens a cave that has like 3 or 4 items in it.
3
Looks
items.
looks like he's going back for that since he seems to be opening the portal
Yep.
here.
Yep, maybe he's hoping to find the Zante's sword. This cave is called the Hype Cave by her runners because usually you get 3 items very close all together and you hope for something good.
Yeah, speaking of something good, like the last item they got in the water shrine there was they got the super bracelet for double defense and double attack. So this seed is
Yes.
going to be running on easy mode.
Oh yeah. For you good players like Solar Cell and the Hulk, this is gonna be easy peasy. And again, we apologize for the Benjinator. He lost his he had a crash on his PC and he can't make it up. So sorry for that black screen, and we hope to see you next year, Benjinator.
Ooh, there is that Zen
Oh,
tattoo.
that was very, very a good move.
All right, at this point, I agree with chat. This seed is blessed.
Oh yeah.
Also, the harp string in there. So, welcome to Harp Cave, everyone.
And I take this opportunity to say that we have 69 viewers right now. So it's called a sexy seed.
Nice.
And Solar decided to go to the Fire Shrine, not knowing that he could have already the Anti-Suit Sword and kill and grind in the Fire Shrine.
So this is interesting. Well, this is some divergence. Solar Cell is not going to be able to kill the metal scorpions here. Meanwhile, the Hulk is continuing on and finishing up the underground castle because he's already here. Why not, right?
Yep. And it's unfortunately for Saracel because when you have the metal sword, if you at this point you kill the scorpion, they make you gain levels very fast.
Yeah, the experience curve in this game is very sharp. Late game enemies tend to give far, far more experience than early game enemies, and metal and spirit enemies give experience for late game since you're intended to get the swords later in the game and backtrack.
Yes. And again, while we watch our player, if you want to try the Soul Blazer Rendo, I'm gonna put in chat the link. So feel free to try this randomizer, which was made by Le Hulk. Lots of fun. For a beginner, I think a seed can take 3 hours and a half, but the average time of a normal player should be around 2 hours and 30 minutes, depending on how truly is the seed. And Solar found the Queen, which will give him access to Act 4.
But we'll need the we'll need the wood guardian in order to get to Act 3
Yep.
first.
Yes.
By the way, for anyone who is interested in trying out the randomizer, if you're not already familiar with the vanilla game, one thing I would recommend is looking up a guide for what locations have invisible items on the ground. In vanilla, those would correspond to the locations of the emblems, the 4 out of 8. But you just kind of have to know them. But there is a guide for them somewhere on the Discord. I will go ahead and link the Discord in chat.
Yes. And Le Hulk would just unlock the soldier that gives you the castle to talk to King Madrid in Act 6. Oh, and Solar found the Wood Guardian. So we now have the opportunity to already go to Act 4 if he wishes. And I didn't see it, but I just noticed that they also found one of the dancing grandma. I don't know where they found it, but that's also something that you need to finish the game. So actually what you need to finish the game is, of course, find the 6 stones. You have to find the 2 dancing grandmas, the 3 hot items, and the phoenix. Also the soul armor and soul blade, of course.
That's correct. And there's a lot of things that you need to finish, so this is going to be a scavenger hunt across most of the game world.
And no benjonator, no angelfish is required to finish the seed.
Yes, and the dancing grandma you commented on was in the water shrine. I didn't comment on her at the time because we had only 1 out of 2.
So, with the Zantetsu sword, probably that Leolk is going to go to the fire shrine. That's what I'm guessing. Yep, and this is where he's heading.
He'll have to because he doesn't have the Wood Guardian yet, so Fire Shrine is his only choice at this point. So in that case, we're going to see what things Solar Cell will be missing from there.
Yep. And also, for those of you who are familiar with the game, some of the sprites in this game have long text when you meet them, and Mr. Leolk decided to cut short on the the text of the sprite, so that's a good thing he added to this game. So no more long text when you make the grandma dance.
I do appreciate the reduction in text for the randomizer because the text in the English version is, or I think probably French version as well, is slower than it is in the Japanese version.
Yes. And that's also why our participant usually only gives 1 letter to their name, the name of their character, so it makes the text go faster. And as Solar Cell is ending the fire shrine, he won't be able to go to the light shrine so far because he doesn't have the leaf. But since he found the guardian, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's going back to Greenwood. So Solar is going to Act 3. And he's going to see the queen. Will he go to Act 4?
Ah, he wanted to go to the seabed, but that's not open yet. There's another mermaid that needs to be found to open that.
By talking to the queen, he could have go to the right layer, the blue layer.
Yeah,
No, the left one. I'm sorry, the left one.
Yes, the island of South Airto is an option. He's choosing to skip that and go to Laynol Aurora Ridge instead.
Yeah, which has 5 treasure chests. So it's not a bad choice, but at his level, he does have the super bracelet and a good sword. No, he should be okay.
Right, and also the enemies here are worth a lot of experience, that sharp
Yes.
experience curve I mentioned. Oh, and there's the mermaid that opens the seabed.
Yes. So nice decision you took there. And here's Monmo the Mole on Leolk's part.
It's not on the tracker, but I did see they found the mole's ribbon somewhere, so they could check the item for that. Might be only the Hulk, might be only Solar Cell. I don't remember which one of them found the mole's ribbon or not.
I think they both found it. And Solar, who found the key that will open one of the room in Dr. Leo's laboratory. Sorry.
Blazer, what are you doing in my laboratory?
Excuse my English, everyone.
Ah.
And we will soon see what items you will get from the scorpion, which Solar Cell couldn't take.
For what it's worth, I think your English is good and I'm enjoying commentating with you.
Thank you. I had to cut short. Sorry, my son was screaming in the door. Commentating with kids is not a good thing. And so far, Solar is holding on. I'm sorry if there's a little delay now. We're trying to crop the stream with only the 2 players, so I'm not seeing their stream a little bit at the same time as you guys.
I'm watching, still seeing it on SpeedGaming itself.
Yeah, so there might be a little delay between what we say and what you see, so we're sorry about that. Urat user, there was 3 player, but unfortunately the Benjanator lost his PC crashed when he was live, so we lost one of the racer. Oh, so Le Hulk found my 2 favorite cat in the game. And now we'll get to see what the Dream Rod, that paid off for Solar. And the Lucky Blade. So we now have access to Leno. So it was a good thinking to go there.
Yes, the Lucky Blade will open one area, Lake Loon. We'll see. I know the Hulk has access to that. I believe that was back in the underground castle. We'll see how long it will be before Solar Cell gets access to that.
Yes, but maybe he's still searching for the Zantetsu sword, not knowing it was in Act 1, fortunately for him.
Right, and speaking of which, what Hulk got from the Zentetsu sword in the basement was that cap in World 5. The caps can give access to a couple items, but it's going to be a long delay before we find out if that was helpful or not.
Yes. Oh, and he got the big pearl.
Again, something that's going to be delayed as to whether or not it's useful because that's going to need quite a few things in order to access Hype Reef for the 4 items
Yep.
that it has.
The big pearl, you can give it to a dolphin, a sleeping dolphin, and it basically opens a 4 treasure chest, which might give something useful. We'll know later.
So the
Oh,
Hulk
and
finds with the Zentetsu sword have leads for 6 other items, but will those be useful? We don't know. It's what I've seen, what I've heard others refer to as Schrodinger's value.
oh, and it was not a pedestal seat, as we can see. Um, the blue jewel gave a medical herb, or mostly
Womp
will
womp.
give it a medical herb.
That's why this is called herb percent, because herbs are the single most common thing you can find.
Oh, and Cell found Leo's brush. So at this point, he cannot continue because he doesn't have the mushroom shoes, so he has to go back somewhere else. So far, none of our runners have found magic. And as I said that, little now knows one magic. Magic can be very useful in this game.
Oh, yes. One of the keys to optimizing and going fast in this, in my opinion, is learning how to multitask. Eliminating multiple layers at a time as much as possible, and magic can be hugely useful for this. Magic is cast from the blue soul that's constantly orbiting you. This hasn't come into play yet because, well, we haven't had any magic yet.
Exactly. And you need to use magic, you need gems, which are the little yellow thing that the enemies leaves when they're dead.
That's right. Now, the spell that the Hulk knows the location of is Magic Flare. A lot of other players that I've seen aren't particularly fond of Magic Flare. Myself, I really like it just because Magic Flare is so simple and effective. It just leaves a bomb, right, it just leaves an explosion right where your soul is, and you can use it for just like pinpoint strikes.
So both their players are right now at the same place. So again, I think it's time to talk to you about the randomizer. He based on the vanilla game of Soul Blazer. This randomizer was made by Le Hulk, and if you want to try it out, I'm gonna send you the link in the chat. And feel free to join our Discord if you have any question or any ideas of how to improve the randomizer. Actually, at this moment, some uh, conceptors are working on making some new sprites for the randomizer. So up next, maybe in a couple of weeks, we should have more sprites you can use when you play the randomizer, which is going to be fun.
Those will be fun to see. Really looking forward to seeing what people make for it.
Yes. Oh, and there you go. So we now have only our 2 participants. And we lost the orc screen. This is what I call playing blind. When his stream will come back, we'll see that he's done in a couple of minutes.
It's admirable to persist under these conditions.
So again, we're sorry for this changing of layout. Just that we had the Benjinator who was supposed to compete, and unfortunately his PC crashed right at the beginning of the race. So that's why we ended up with only 2 runners. And as I was talking, they found one of the red item.
2 of the red hots.
Oh wow!
Solar Cell has also found Leo's paintbrush. I'm not sure where he picked that up, but that'll give him access to the painted world back in World 1 when he finds the appropriate NPCs for it.
Yep. And now we see that the Urk found some magic that he's now using. Fortunately, I don't know where he found it.
Which spell did you see him use?
He found magic flare.
Yes, that was the one. That was the one we knew about then from the Mushroom Boy.
Oh yeah, it's true. So Solar just went to the Hype Cave and found the... No, he didn't. He's about to go to the Hype Cave, I guess.
Recovery sword there.
Yep. And since he has the brush, he can go to Leo's house on top.
Oh, there's soul armor.
Oh my god!
With Recovery Sword's not always the most impactful. I am fond of it because it does a lot of damage and heals you. So for instance, if we didn't have bubble armor, it'd be useful in a drowning run, but it's not likely to see use in this particular seed.
Yeah, so he's heading into the painting of Leo, which the orc didn't do so far. So at the level he's now with the super bracelet, this is going to be a walk in the park, as you say in English.
Oh yes, easy mode. I do appreciate seeing route divergences like this. That we'll get to see a lot of the game's ground covered in a short time and start making predictions on where players might go next.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I know La Hulk has access to Lake Loon, so now that he's found Lucky Blade, he might turn and go down that way.
Yep, and he just found also the Dream Rod. So Dream Rod is an item that lets you go into other characters' stream, NPC stream, I mean, and could be useful. Some might give you progression items. We never know.
That's right. I think every world has at least one sleeping NPC who gives you an item, but I'd have to double check that.
No, you're right. You're right. They all act as a sleeping NPC.
All right, so the Dream Rod is one of those things that is not immediate value, but opens quite a few checks.
Yeah, and gives you some more items. So the Hulk is almost at the point where he cannot continue anymore because he doesn't have the mushroom shrooms, so he should be returning. Oh, there he found Leo's brush. And yes, he's going to Loon. Loon is usually a place where you avoid to go because it's long, it's hard, and it's boring.
For sure. Lake Loon and also Icefield Lanol are much more difficult without magic. Well, there's Light Arrow. That's going to make this place much easier. This seed is less.
Oh yeah, and I know this is Leok's favorite magic, so I think he's pretty happy right now to go into Leno with his favorite magic. Not Leno, they're Loon, sorry.
Oh yes, Light Arrow is definitely overpowered. You get it very early in the vanilla game, and it's probably the best spell in the game. Only 8 MP, does tons of damage, shoots in all 4 directions around the soul. Very, very good.
And I like when baby Victor's commentary, Light Arrow, it's over. So you'll be able to see how he manages magic, how fast he can kill enemies now.
Definitely. Like I was talking about, I think multitasking is a big part of optimization for this game, and you'll see a lot of that with Light Arrow going on. That or just sniping these Wizrobe vampires from a distance, because they, like the statues from World 2, the vampires teleport around, hence the Wizrobes. They're much easier if you can snipe them from a distance with magic.
Yes. And now Solarus beat the boss in one hit. So for those of you who've just joined us, we remind you that they both found the super bracelet, which actually gives you twice as much sword power, sorry.
Bugger650 asks what happened to the third runner. The Benjinator forfeited because of technical issues.
Very unfortunate. solar cell is going to do the second part of the basement.
In Dr. Leo's painting, Solar Cell found one of the soldiers for the Dr. Leo cutscene who says that Dr. Leo is here in the underground castle. I hope we get to see that because the Dr. Leo cutscene is one of my favorite trolls for Rando. It's a long cutscene for like 1, maybe 2 items and a boss.
And also, it was necessary to go there because you got a solar cell just found the steps to go to Mary, the doll Mary, which gives you access to Axis. And now Oak is fighting the boss of Act 4. And for those of you who didn't know, in the first version of this boss, it was a woman. And they decided that in the American version, it would be a man.
Right, in the Japanese version, this boss was Medusa and she had bare titties. For the English version, they censored it by just changing it to big man pecs and renaming him to Poseidon.
Unfortunately, that fight was useless. But we get to see the transformation of the monster. Yes, Bert, it was worth it.
Yeah, no runner wants to deal with Demon Bird. This is an RPG, and birds are jerks.
And Solar just found a soldier that actually builds the castle to meet King Madrid in Act 6. Because of course, to finish the game, we were saying you need specific items, but you also need specific what you call it again? PNG?
NPCs, the English equivalent.
Sorry. I keep messing up. NPCs. So certain NPC gives you progression as well because they open way or they build stuff that you need to have to talk to the required NPCs.
That's right. I think we might have like all or close to most of the NPCs that we need.
We still don't have the way to the king in Act 4, unfortunately. But I know we have the stairs to go to Marion Door, and we have the castle and King Madrid. So
I can see that we do still need the other dancing grandma.
Yes, also it's true. Oh, and Ulk is choosing to take the cats out of their rooms, my 2 favorite cats in the game.
Mushroom shoes. So reminder that one of the two catnip one of the 2 catnip cats was one of the things that Lehulk got for having Zentetsu's sword at the fire shrine. So again, Schrodinger's value, as we don't know if the mushroom shoes are going to be necessary or not.
Yep.
just could lead him down a rabbit hole. Depends on if he wants to take the time to go back up to Icefield Lay Knoll. He probably won't because that's really far out of the way.
And for Mighty Metric Batman, yes, Laok found the power bracelet, but they already have the super bracelet, which is very much useful than the power bracelet at this point. And unfortunately, Manmo the Mole was not giving something useful. So Solar is going to see what we call the R. Kelly bird because he says, I believe I can fly.
I believe I can touch the sky.
So we'll go check it out what this bird was giving. So none of our racers so far have done the light shrine because they didn't find the leaf that leads to it. So as I can see, Solar is doing an item rush at this point. He's checking everything he opened so far to get items. Finally got his first magic. So the Oak is doing Dr. Leo's laboratory and he just killed the mouse. We hate those mouse because they go so fast everywhere. And it's easy to lose one and they leave the screen and oh my god.
Oh, yes, you can lose a lot of time if those rats escape from you. Anytime that I am doing this area, I try to keep their potential routes in mind and just intercept them whenever possible, like top priority. They will waste multiple minutes of your time.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget they're randomized, so we don't know where we could have some. And Solar just found also his light arrow, which he's gonna use. I know it's his best magic too. So he must be pretty happy too. So the Oak is doing the second part of the basement, Dr. Leo's laboratory. I think so far it's pretty good seed for runners.
We haven't had a lot of trolls so far. Lots of good things early, very open. May come down to some trolls later on.
So again, I take this time to talk to you about the tournament. This is the second year of the tournament, and we're having a nice prize this year. It's an illustration from a Sweden illustrator. a unique piece, and we'll have a raffle and people in chat tomorrow on the finals. So one for Speed Gaming English and one for Speed Gaming French, and be there so you can win this pretty piece of art. And the Benjinator saying that it's become school stupid. No, not really then.
Well, sometimes you might think the way you have to cooperate with your soul. Like 2-player, 1 controller, Goofy and Max Run.
It's true.
No, wait, I said that backwards. 1 player, 2 controllers, not 2-player, 1 controllers. The 2-player, 1 controller is also interesting. I will admit I have been a little distracted. Has the Hulk found much of value in Dr. Leo's basement yet?
Not much so far. He might be still searching for the soul armor, which is in Act 1, unfortunately. And now he has the door. And yeah, he's going to see Mary. Mary the doll. Oh, we just gave him a medical herb.
Going to visit the cat stream? This
Yes.
is one of those cutscenes that has been shortened a lot.
Yes, we thank Monsieur Le Hulk again for this.
Oh yeah, Mary the herb. Well, that makes me realize, would that make her Rosemary?
And Le Hulk just found the red hot mirror, which is the only red items that Solar Cell is missing right now.
Mary Jane, nice. Hamal? I like it.
Yes, I think so too, Benjinator. World 6 action. And Solar Cell is using very wisely his magic right there with that kill. Then he released an angelfish, which is not useful, may I say to Benjinator.
While we have an easygoing moment, I want to give a reminder to everyone to follow the runners if you haven't already. Lehulk and Solar Cell, they're both great players, and if you like speed gaming content, give them a follow.
Yes, and they both play basically the same games. They're both runners of Super Nintendo RPGs.
Ooh, while Solar Cell does not have the staircase to the second floor yet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Hulk found the staircase to the second basement, so the second basement is very small, but it does have a few checks. I don't know where the stairs to the second floor were. So I don't know how long it's going to be before Solar Cell finds those. Those are required because you do need to be able to get upstairs to talk to Mary to open World 6.
The only place I can think of was Solar Cell did not kill yet the Scorpion in the Fire Shrine. I think they were there.
No, it wasn't in the Fire Shrine. There were like 2 items and then the cat for the catnip.
Okay.
We're still waiting to see if the Fire Shrine was worthwhile yet because that's the catnip. Like the catnip cats gave access to the mouse hole where Lehulk found the mushroom shoes. So the Hulk has access to Laynol where Solar Cell doesn't.
So they're all taking a death here, but it was on purpose so we can go faster.
Oh yes, if you've ever played or watched the vanilla game speedrun, death warping is a huge part of that. It's much less common in Rando, but it still happens sometimes. Ah, and there's the stairs to the second floor. Okay, so they were on the basement.
Perfect.
Those stairs were while I was distracted a little.
And he's going to see the king. Another medical herb.
Right, it's not surprising that Lehulk would come right to World 6 because there's a lot of value down here. Tons of chests, tons of NPCs, immediately accessible. I don't know if we have either the west or east towers yet. I guess we'll see. Even just the basement, though, has a lot of value.
He's unlocked the left one, I think. But so far he doesn't have the cards to go to open them.
I see, I see. The left tower is less valuable than the right one. The left one has lots of NPCs. The right tower has lots of items. Usually you're searching for items more by the end of the game.
So far none of our players have found the Phoenix and the Soul Blade, which are the only 2 items we don't know yet where they are. Because Solar found the red ball and the red stick, and soul armor.
Right. In items, we also still need 3 more stones. We got 3 early and then haven't seen any more for a long time.
Yep. So the Ogg did not get the important items here. The Thunder Ring, which is used to kill metal gorillas in Act 3, but once you get the Xanthid sword, they're useless.
Hulk was having a little bit of trouble with those gauntlet ghosts at first, but then he hit level 19 and got a health refill and can finally swing the spirit sword. So now this area just got much easier for him.
Oh yeah. So again, I'm gonna put in the chat the link if you want to try this Blazer Rando. So feel free to join the community and join the Discord if you want, and try if you have any questions about this Rando. So the Hulk is finishing his second floor of the basement. And then there's one more floor in the basement.
That's right. Still a lot of value to be found.
And Solar Cell is now almost done with this floor on Dr. Leo's laboratory. I think he's gonna go and try to see Mary now that he has his stair.
Hopefully Solar Cell remembers to check the sleeping cat there, because the sleeping cat was the place that the red hot mirror was.
Yes. So thank you, Stormy. Just put the Discord on the chat if you want to join the Discord as well. You're very welcome.
Yes, and I just put a suggestion in Discord that the generator page should have a link to the Discord. I don't think it does, but it should be added in my opinion.
And now Solar is going upstairs. Will he check the cat? Oh, yes. He's gonna be happy now because he's gonna have all of his red items.
That's right. Solar Cell will not need much more to be able to check the Mountain King. One, that's necessary to summon the final boss. Two, the Mountain King is guaranteed to give a unique item, so he can never give you an herb. Now, a unique item is not guaranteed to be useful. It might be a junk sword or armor, but it is unique.
And Solar has one of the cards in Act 6, so maybe he'll start with the tower. Oh no, he's going into Bubble Town. So in Mallow Town, you won't see all of the enemies because some are invisible. You need a sprite that actually gives you the ability to see enemies, but so far none of the runners found the door that gives you that ability. So they're going blind in this, but it's pretty easy to guess where they are.
Right. When you're familiar with these areas, the enemies here are pretty big. Though the invisible enemies are either very big or stationary, so they're not hard to track down, just a bit more troublesome and more likely to damage you if you can't see them. Which I didn't notice when the Hulk was going through this area, but Solar Cell found the mermaid statue that opens the way to Rockbird. The Rockbird mermaid also opens. Well, the Rockbird mermaid statue is also necessary for Durian as well, which Solar Cell does have. You might see Solar Cell go back to World 3. Looks like the Hulk is going back there, since there's quite a bit of the seabed open now.
Yes, and none of them have done something in the sea so far.
I do remember seeing Solar Cell pick up the Lester mermaid statue for the Northeast at some point, but I don't remember where he saw that. So Solar Cell actually has more of the seabed open than the Hulk does.
Yes, and Rockbird is also a good place to go as soon as you have it.
Are we Mirabois in chat? Are we looking at a 130-ish run? They usually don't go that low, or at least in my experience, unless the experienced players are pushing it really low now.
And as we were talking, Locke just found his red hot ball, so he also has his 3 red hot items now.
Yes, we're getting pretty close to even footing again. The mushroom shoes are one of the biggest differences right now. We'll see if that comes back into play. The mushroom shoes were pretty obscurely hidden. I don't think Solar Cell's going to make his way back to the Fire Shrine anytime soon.
And also, they both have different cards for the towers in Act 6. So let's see if they decide to do the towers or not.
Oh yes, that's a good point, since the 2 towers have very different value.
And both of them, I think, have found the big pearl, which could lead to a good item being there. But I don't think they found the dolphin so far.
They also do not have the mermaid statue for the ghost ship yet.
Yep.
I believe the big pearl was another Fire Shrine item, the one on the first floor, so the Hulk has that where Solar Cell doesn't.
So Solar is going into Act 6. He's going to see the king now. She'll give him a medical herb.
Those Fire Shrine items are just still sticking in my mind because it's been a long time now and we still don't know if they were actually useful or not.
And Solar is going to see the queen, but if you play this game, just remember that the queen is useless because since she's disappeared, the queen can never give you a useful item. She's always gonna give you a medical herb. And now I think Solar's screen broke because the text box was left there.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. Is text box storage a thing? Is that visual or a gameplay glitch?
And it's gone.
It's interesting to see because this game has very few glitches. The only real glitch I know of is that you can swing a sword when you're too low level for it by switching weapons in mid-swing.
And Benjanator saying, "Come on, take the shield bracelet."
So if there are any like significant text box glitches, that would be news to me and potentially really interesting.
No, I've never seen this done before. Or maybe the maid is very persistent.
I mean, that's the psychic maid. I've seen her referred to as Miss Cleo because she always knows what you want.
And to answer Paralyte question, we already know that the emblems do not give you a useful item.
That's right. Solar Cell is able to take those 8 emblems and cash them in for 1 medical herb if he wants. It's some really high quality medical herbs though. They refill you to 101% HP. Note that you cannot have 1% of an HP point, so it will round down. But it's still especially high quality.
So for those of you who don't know about the emblems, is that in this game you have 8 emblems. Once you have them all, you can bring them to a blue jewel in Act 2, which gives you, in the vanilla version, a magic bell. So in the randomizer, of course, you don't know what you'll get, unless you free the deer that gives you the blue jewel, and then she says, if you bring me the 8 emblems, I will give you this item. So the Ulk went earlier and checked, and it was a mythical herb, so it's not useful. But when it is useful, like let's say would give you a red up item or phoenix, we call this a pedestal seed, and it's something you usually don't want to get because you have to work your way and find 8 items just to get one item that you need to finish the game. So this is what we call a trolling seed when this happens. So the Oak decided to go to Durin, the volcano. This area has, if I remember correct, 3 or 4 chests, so 3 potential items.
There are several items here. I don't think I've seen value yet.
No, as Benjanator is saying, Durin is often where the dreams die.
Oh, there's the Pearl Dolphin.
Oh,
So that's the one that opens. That's the one that opens Hype Reef with Dream Rod. Although we would still need the statue for the ghost ship.
yes. So far, it might be useful in the end. So the Oak took again a death here. It was on purpose to get faster.
Yes, that's on Durian are very fast. It's nearly always the fastest way to get out of there. The lava on Durian is hardcore and will do like 4 HP damage multiple times a second. And even if you have ice armor, you can't prevent it like other hot floors in the game. The intended method is to use the mermaid's tears to turn off the lava there. Although with a lot of HP like this, of course, you can just damage boost through it.
And it also takes a lot of time. It's kind of a time loss to do this.
Oh yes. So what Hulk did there, damage boosting through the lava and then death warping out, that's a very standard play. Even in the vanilla speedrun, you'd do that.
Yes. Unfortunately, when you die, you lose all of your gem, but there's an item called Strange Bottle, so if you have it, you can equip it before dying, and it lets you keep all of your gem, which you need to use magic.
That's right, and one of the fortunate things about Rando is because consumable items are very common, so you're pretty likely to have lots of them. The Hulk just happens to have plenty of strange bottles for those death warps, just by virtue of checking everything. And there is the Phoenix. Looks like Rockbird is Firebird today.
Oh, yes.
A Mad Dragon asks in chat, can you carry multiple bottles in the rando? No, you cannot. You just get lots of them. So you're pretty free to use them because you'll probably find another soon.
And the Hulk with the lag, because at this place is where you get lots of enemies.
Yes, I like to call those birds, I like to call them lag birds because their tornadoes slow down the game so much.
Oh, yes. So when you get lots of lag like this, you want to avoid using magic because that causes even more lag.
Firelight says in chat, even if you don't have one, losing all of your gems is not that painful. Yes, in Rando that's true, because in Rando, since you're clearing every layer, 2 layers have more enemies on average, you get lots more gems in Rando than you would get in a casual run. If you were doing this vanilla speedrun, deaths would be catastrophic there because the vanilla speedrun really needs every gem it can get. If you haven't seen the vanilla speedrun before, you should check it out because it's so different from Rando. Vanilla speedrun is just running on the bleeding edge the entire time. It's really interesting.
Yes, I don't know what's the world record for this. I don't remember.
I would have to check it to remember the number. I think the Hulk has it.
Yes, so the Hulk has it with a time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 3 seconds. He is followed by Last Core, who has 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 48 seconds. Last Core, who won the previous run, so we should see those two facing each other tomorrow in the finals.
Yes, Lost Core is not to be underestimated. Lost Core is another very good player. I am excited to watch that match.
So just to let you know, we are having a tournament this weekend of Soul Blazer Rando. This is our second race. The first one was this morning, and then we have another one at 4 o'clock Eastern Time this afternoon. And all of the winners will confront themselves in the finals tomorrow at noon on SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming French.
August 650 asks in chat, is it possible to say who's ahead at the moment? They're pretty close. Their routes diverged early on, but they've kind of converged. Their inventories are pretty similar at this point. The main differences in the runner are the cards that they have. The Hulk has Platinum card, Solar Cell has VIP card, and then the Hulk has a couple extra items from having had the Zentetsu sword when going to the Fire Shrine. But we don't know yet if the Big Pearl or the Mushroom Shoes will pay off for the Hulk.
Yes, and also none of them has done the light shrine in Act 2 because none of them has found the leaf so far.
Oh yes, that's correct too. I kind of forgot about the Greenwood leaf because we had the Spirit Sword so early and then just never found the leaf.
Yep.
I try to do the like myself when I'm playing. I try to do the light shrine as soon as possible for the spirit experience. But if you can't get there, you can't get there.
And now I'm actually excited because Solar is going to see what the Dream of Lisa is going to give you. Because we don't know yet. Also, one other difference at this point is that the Hulk found the mushroom shoes and Solar Cell does not have them. But Hulk did not go to Leno so far. So we don't know if it was useful or not. Oh, and Solar released Dr. Leo.
Oh, and Solar Cell has the VIP card. Does Solar Cell have the right tower? Oh, that'd be a great troll. From Lisa's dream to the Dr. Leo cutscene.
I would go for that. Kind of sends you a message.
Like, I even commented that the other soldier gave the hint that Dr. Leo was in the underground castle and then kind of glossed over the fact that I didn't see him there, which means
Yeah.
that it was actually possible to predict that that would be Dr. Leo if you were paying attention to the clues.
Yes. And I've missed it, but the Hulk went to the next to the ivy next to the sleeping tulip and found the soul armor.
Solar Cell checking the pedestal, and here he is actually going to collect his high quality medical herb.
Disappointment strikes in his heart at that moment.
Oh, looks like we're going back to the Fire Shrine, so that gap between them might be closing.
Yep.
It will cost Solar Cell time to backtrack for this, though.
Yes.
On the other hand, he's able to swing the... Hey, Solar Cell, you can swing Zentetsu Sword. You can kill these things way faster. Yes, thank you.
Oh, there, he noticed. Now I'm really curious to see what is in the light shrine. I hope they get to go there.
At Barbarossa in chat, herb percent is just a meme for the name because herbs are by far the most common thing you find.
And also Barbaros, if you speak French, as I think you do, you can watch this being commentated in SpeedGaming French also. So I'll just finish the painting of Dr. Leo. Might be going back to Act 3 at this point. It's a close race so far, I would say.
Yeah, this is an interesting seed to me so far because we've had a lot of good things, but we've also kind of had a drought of some of the other important things.
And so now going to get Dr. Leo. And now I just realized that Lisa said, Daddy, is that you? And yes, it is him.
Now, even when Hulk picks up Dr. Leo, he doesn't have the VIP card, so it remains to be seen whether or not he'll be able to get anything from that. I don't know where the two cards were, that the players have different ones.
Unfortunately, I don't remember either.
It might have happened at the time that we were having some technical issues.
Yes, maybe. Oh, there it is, the platinum card. So the mermaid was giving the platinum card, so now he has both solar cell.
I see, I see. The VIP card was probably from some other town NPC then, one that Hulk didn't pick up yet because of just order of operations.
I see Solar is dating right now as to where he's going.
Solar Cell is still missing one of the NPCs needed to reach the Mountain King.
Yes, but I think he didn't check the mushroom. The sleeping mushroom. Oh, and he's probably going to the tower now.
Oh, looks like we're going to the left tower.
Yep.
Ah, thank you, Chad. It makes me feel good to hear that I'm doing we're doing a good job.
So Solar decided to go into left tower. Left tower is... There's not a lot of items in this tower. Actually, I wonder if there's one at all. But lots of NPC... No, PNG. Oh, which one is in English? I never remember.
NPC in English, non-player character.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, there's a lot of NPCs in this tower that he might need to get the way to get to the king in Act 4. And yes, man, my teammate trigged lots of lag in this place because there's a lot of enemies. And the more you use magic, it adds lags. So. And now we see all going back into Leno. I think he's out of options because it's the one place you usually try to avoid.
Well, it's a long way out of the way, but he does have the stuff necessary to handle it by now.
Yeah, he does have the mushroom shoes, which Solar doesn't find yet.
I'm also thinking of Light Arrow. It'll make it's still going to be a long check, but it'll be about as fast as it can be.
And this is going to be interesting because both of them now are going to places that the other didn't go, so we don't know where they're going to get so far. This is going to be interesting.
Right, this has been interesting routing so far. They like diverged early, converged in the middle, and now they've like diverged again in different directions.
Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed by the quality of our runners.
And hey, Solar Cell found one of those boys, so left tower is
Yes,
required.
yes. He must be glad this was paying off. And you're going to be happy, Stormy, because we're going to see Dr. Leo.
Oh boy.
And for those of you who know this vanilla game, you remember that the scene with Dr. Leo is very long, so thank you again for for making it shorter.
Yeah, as you were asking about the NPC count here, the prison tower here has I think 7 NPCs and 0 items.
And I just got confused because I thought Dr. Leo was in the left tower, but now I see he's in the right one. I'm sorry for that confusion.
Well, left is the prison tower, right is the airship tower.
And Solar found his way to Ghost Ship, which might pay off because if he can finally find the dolphin, he already has the big pearl. So it might be there that we find the soul blade.
A red user, the last things they need for in-game or Grand Mod and Last Sword. Almost correct. Solar Cell also needs to find the Phoenix, which we know is at Rockbird, the Southeast Island in World 3. Lahulk will still need to go to the left tower to get one of the boys to reach the Mountain King. So they've still got a good bit more searching to do.
Solar going to check what is under the foot of the soldier, the string. Sorry, I mean the harp string, not a string. Sorry, my English is not so good. Oh, there was nothing.
Yes, that location is a bit odd. Sometimes it just pops no message. I'm not sure if that happens if it tries to give you an herb when you already have one or what.
And yes, Ophonox, they need the tree rot items because they will bring them to the dancing grandmas, which open the way to Death Halls. Merci, Barberousse. Oh, and Slaughter taking the kitty out of the room. I love those kitties. Oh, and Slaughter just found the mushroom shoes. It was in with the mouse in Dr. Leo's laboratory.
Right, so yeah, the mid-game differences have converged now. It's up to just where they decide to go in the end game now.
So they're still missing 3 stones. Yeah, so I think soon they're gonna go on an item rush.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure at this point that the dolphin has something useful.
either the dolphin or prison tower, because the stones cannot be in World 7.
No, exactly.
Prison tower, not prison tower, airship tower, the right tower.
And maybe the soul blade could be at in World 7.
That's correct, it could be. Solar Cell is doing the second basement. I'm not sure if La Holka did this. The second basement is a little, well, the second basement is not very long, but it also has very few checks. So I don't know if La Holka actually checked this or not.
So, if you don't know about our racers today, Solar Cell 007 and Le Hulk, go give them a follow. They're both runners of Super Nintendo, speedrunners, I mean, of Super Nintendo RPG games. Solar fighting the mice. And we don't like these mice because sometimes they can go out of the screen and you have to wait for them to come back and it takes forever. So we're all going into the soldier's dream. Let's see what it have. Oh, a medical herb, so it was useless.
Solar Sail got Onmo the Mole from the World 5 boss. That's a check or two right there. There's a lot of loose checks still out there in addition to the big two. A ghost ship and airship tower would be the big two.
Yes.
Ghost ship in part because that would include the Hive Reef from the Pearl Dolphin.
So far, I think it's a sea that's going to need every spot to be checked. And Solar's gonna go see the mushroom, the sleeping mushroom, which gives you access to 1 item and 1 layer.
All right. Fortunately, since Solar Sail already has the warp point to the bottom of Lake Loon, it won't be too far out of the way.
Yes. So otherwise you lose like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to walk back there.
Although, given that he's in World 4 right now, he's probably going to go to Icefield Lanel while he's here, and that's going to be bust.
And unfortunately, it was only a medical herb. And a useless bird.
Benjinator calling for Blester, and yes, I don't think either of our runners have been to Blester yet.
No, none of them. Which is something they don't want to see usually. And Solar is going into Lionel now. It's his turn. And yes, Barbarossa, I would say so. It's pretty close. Only the Hulk found the Phoenix that Solar didn't. And there's both looking for the Soul Blade and the 3 missing stone.
That's correct. I would say that La Hulk has the lead here, but it's not a decisive lead.
And so Leok just released a mermaid that gives you an item, so she could have a stone also.
Right. I know that we have both the Ghost Ship and Bluster available. World 3 is looking like a good play right now.
And I think it's gonna go in Ghost Ship.
Hopefully he remembers to turn in the pearl first.
Yes, he got the dolphin.
Okay, he did get that. I see, I see.
Yes, but I don't think that Solar has the dolphin yet.
I see, I see. The dolphin was here at Les Knoll, I think.
And he's going into Ghost Ship with this. I think it's my favorite part of the game.
The seabed music here, Saint Ellis, is my favorite song in the game. It's so good.
Yes, it's very quiet. And not quiet, I mean calm.
This whole game's soundtrack is excellent. This area is one of my favorites.
I know that going to Ghost Ship first is not a good strat, but I always do Ghost Ship first. Because it's my favorite.
Well, Bluster also lets you spend extra time on the seabed, but then you're also going to Bluster, and that's, Bluster's less exciting than the Ghost Ship.
Yes. Oh, and that's the you just released the mermaid that gives you access to the sleeping dolphin. That's why I didn't see it. You didn't go see it.
Ah, I see, I see.
And he's going into Ghost Ship. As you can see, for those of you who know the vanilla game, the little flames that hurt you are not there in this version. The Ulk removed them from the randomizer.
It's actually not an intentional removal, as far as I know, but rather just a consequence of how the game works.
Oh, I didn't know.
You may notice that the boss music is not playing, right? The game decides whether or not to play the boss music based on whether you've rescued the leader for that area. So we found the Mermaid Queen a long time ago, so the ghost ship is not in the boss state.
Okay, I didn't know that. It's good to know.
Yeah, the presence of the fire and the worms is tied to the presence of the boss music. In Rando, you usually find the leader for an area before you go to the boss of an area. So you'll just still have the normal background music even in the boss arena. On the other hand, on the rare scenario that you do go to the boss arena before finding the leader for the area, you can kill the boss and then still have the boss music after the fight.
So Leok is going into Dr. Leo, the basement again, but Solar Cell already did that, and we know that the grandma is not there.
Ah, that's right.
So this smells like the grandma isn't blessed her, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of areas to check here.
Yep, we're still missing the right part of the Act 6, the right tower, I mean. And
That is probably going to be in Leicester, and then it's a matter of how much and how deep into the airship tower do you have to go?
and Benjanator here with the worst case scenario. Lester, then right tower to give you grandma. I hope for them it's not true, but it looks like this.
At this point, it's just about got to be the right tower because there's so many missing items. Leicester would not have enough item slots to give you all 3 stones.
Yeah, it's true. But they, as I said earlier, they're still missing the. None of them saw what the dolphin dreams give you, and they couldn't go to the dolphin. You have to stand on your nose in Act 3,
Oh, that's right, that's right.
and the mermaid in the house lower in the map also gives you an item. They couldn't reach her, so there's 4, 5, 6 possibility in Act 3 for an item.
I see. Thanks for keeping that up. Especially when watching, I find it easy to forget the individual loose checks back in town.
Yes, and Thaler going into Model Town 2, I think.
That would be the first one.
Yep. Oh, first one, sorry.
Yeah, we got Model Town 2 first.
So Lolk is beating the bus, but he's gonna be disappointed because this gives you nothing.
Monmo might be something. That's an item check.
If I remember correct, Solar did it and it was only a mythical herb.
Oh, I see. I did not see Solar check it. That's why we have 2 commentators.
Yes, he went to check it at the same time that he went to pedestal seat to see if it was a pedestal seat.
Right, that would make sense. Good call on his part then.
And my metric ghost ship was already done. So for those of you who just joined, our runners are now very close to each other. Solar is still missing the Phoenix, which we know is in Act 3. What's it called again? Rockbird?
Rockbird is correct, the southeast island.
Thank you. So Phoenix is in Rockbird, and they're still missing 3 stones and the Soul Blade. Oh, and as in PNGs, they're missing no NPCs. They're missing the one dancing grandma. So also, I take this time to let you know if you want to try the Soul Blazer window. You're more than welcome. I'm gonna put the link in chat, and also feel free to join our Discord if you have any question and you want to try this rando. Right now we're having some people working on some new sprites. So far you can only use the original sprites, but eventually we'll have some more sprites when you play this rando.
I'll go ahead and paste those links in chat again.
Thank you very much. And also, please take the time to give a follow to our two runners today, Le Hulk and SolarCell007, who are both speedrunners of SNES RPG games. Both of them are really good. They've been doing this for a couple of years, and they both share fights against some world records, as in Gaia, Soul Blazer, Secret of Evermore. They do these kind of games.
Phoenix Rain says, this makes me want to play the vanilla game again. It's a great game. I recommend it.
It's very easy to play a vanilla game. You just have to follow the story.
Yeah, and if there's anyone here who hasn't played it before, I recommend it for a casual playthrough. It's a lot of fun. It's cute, it's short, it's a comfy game.
It's a very quick game also. I would say, what, maybe 5-6 hours?
Yeah, 5 to 7 hours for a first playthrough sounds about right.
Yep.
It's the kind of game where the easiest way to play it casually is to 100% it.
Yes, and not much, as I was saying, not much mechanical strats to learn, as in no glitch, no hard tricks to do. More things you need to learn is location of some items in invisible enemies and stuff like this.
Right, and it can be a lot harder to optimize it for a speedrun, but for a casual game, like I said, it's short, it's easy, it's just a great comfy game.
And to answer Lutin, I meant that 5 hours in an RPG game is quick. It's not a long game like the Final Fantasies or some other RPGs. And now both our runners are at the same spot right now. Yeah, Lufia 2 is a game that SolarCell also runs. If you want to give him a follow, you can see him play this game sometimes.
By the way, speaking of missing items, I noticed that we still have not found the greenwood leaf anywhere. So if we want like rabbit holes or long trolley chains, we could get those and get sent to the light shrine.
It's true. That's a place. I wasn't thinking about it because none of them have access to it. And Benjanator, like, again calling for Blaster. Thank you, Mira, for putting the runners in chat. Thank you very much. And Solar doing a little item rush. He has the key to the door. I wonder if he'll use it.
Depends on if he has the cupboard down there.
It's
There's
true,
two items. There's
Sorry.
2 items in the locked door, but you need the cupboard for both of them.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the chest, you're right.
Yeah, the chest of drawers is what I mean by the cupboard.
And yes, Ventilator. I will go to Blaster in my run. And Kugel Schnaps, it started quite well actually. It was they got 3 stones very quick. They got Spirit Sword in Act 1. And Solar Cell found Soul Armor very quick also. But since then, no stone.
Oh yes, this is how a lot of Rando Blazer seeds go. Like, opens up very much early on and then leaves you searching for that last thing for a long, long time.
And Solar going into the bird stream to see Turbo the dog, which apparently is a dog that you can see also in Terranigma, and you can see him in Gaia also. Poor dog must be tired from running from a game to the other.
That's correct. In Illusion, I haven't played Terranigma myself. I mean to do that. So I want to do that someday. In Illusion of Gaia, you can see him on like the coast after Will gets rescued from the raft ride.
On Diamond Coast, yes. So, the Ulk is going to Blaster, people. Hopefully, Solar is going to get to Rockbird, because this is where the Phoenix is. If he goes there, then it would be a equality. I mean, it would be a tie for right now. And Lol just released a squirrel, which gives an item, so might be another place for a stone. And Solar going to Rockbird finally. So we'll get the Phoenix soon enough.
Urge user, same team did Robotrek, that's correct. Robotrek is a bit different from Quintet's other games, but it's still a good game. You can still see some of the signature things like the font or the space backgrounds.
So Solar being at level 22 is killing the enemies very fast, so he's gonna make this quick. And another stone for Ulk. Now Ventilator is happy because Blaster was required after all.
That's our first stone in like an hour and a half, I think.
Yes. But I can't believe how close they are to each other. How tight the race is. And Serotonin, may I tell you that Solar's favorite song is the one he's into right now.
Brian W. mentions in chat, Ancient did most of the development of Robotrek as a subcontractor of Quintet. That would make sense, since, like I said, Robotrek is pretty different from the other Quintet games. Like I said, it's still a great game, and you should play Robotrek too.
So Solar just found his Phoenix too, and it is now almost a tie. If he goes to Blaster... Oh, and there was the tower. So yeah, Blaster was required after all. What would be funny if the grandma was in the tower? So hopefully Solar will go to Lester next.
I'm hoping for Grandma from the boss. Just full evil, full jerk bird.
And the stone from Dr. Leo. Uniform, this is called Rockbird.
That's right, Rockbird is Firebird today, because that's where we got the Phoenix.
But they still have lots of places in Act 3 they can get some items. As I was saying, they didn't go check the dolphin that you have to stand on his nose. There's 2 mermaids that gives you item they didn't talk to yet. And they're also missing the dolphin stream. And so they're all going immediately to probably the right tower. Now he has access to it. And what would be even trollier, I think, is if they found the leaf in the right tower and they have to do a spirit temple, the light temple in Act 2. We don't wish this for them.
Well, I wish it, but I always love seeing trolley seeds. I mean, even if I'm the one playing the trolley seed, I can at least laugh at my own misfortune.
And there she is, the mermaid that gives you access to the dolphin. And the grandma! Finally!
A boss check pretty unlikely at this point. Still dream, though.
Maybe Dr. Leo has an item. And the soul blade. Oh my god, what a handing of a seed! And Solar decided to go to the rain, and we know that this is useless.
Ah, that's right. And I was thinking earlier when we were finding Dr. Leo in the VIP card that I would have gone to the right tower as soon as possible. It's just that right tower did not open up for a long, long time.
Yes. So yeah, probably Solar is going to lose the race only because he went to the raid, unfortunately.
Blackstone, one more to go.
Yes, almost go mode. And I think Locke is going to check Dr. Leo.
Nope. No, he just nopes out of there. Dad gets to live for the day.
So I think he's gonna go check the dolphin because... Oh, not... Oh, he's gonna make the grandma dance. took a risk if Dr. Leo had the last stone.
It's true that you can go through just the cutscene without having to fight the boss. The cutscene
Yes,
gives you an item, and then the boss gives you an NPC.
yes. But since he's only looking for an item, you should have go check Dr. Leo. That would have been my call. Because if he goes everywhere else and the stone he's missing was there, he's gonna lose some time. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, this randomizer was made by Le Hulk, and he cut short this the talking and the scripts.
One of my favorite bits is the randomized text on death. Oh, well, there's the green stone. That is go
Oh
mode,
my
right?
god, go mode for him, yes. And it's unfortunate because we never know what was in the light temple.
Well, we kind of do know. Nothing good.
Yes, that's true. And Noah Mahal, he didn't read the spoiler log.
But like I was saying, one of my favorite things is the randomized message on death. Like, that death was RNG manipulation, or I'm sorry for making this seed, or LOL, eat good, noob.
Blame or love evermore. So at this point, Laol still can't use the Soul Blade because you need to be level 24 to wield the blade. It shouldn't be too long though. And
Oh
there you
yeah.
go.
Yes, the enemies in the last world give tons and tons of experience. There's also these like rotating mirror walls you could grind on that give like 4,000 experience each. Can be respawned in seconds. Particularly, you need to be level 24 to finish the game, and you hit level 24 at 420,000 experience. Soul blaze it.
So we should probably see Laol finishing this game in 5 minutes or less. This is pretty easy, this part, and pretty quick, I mean. So Laol didn't even open the last layer, go back and give him some health. The final boss of this game is not very a hard boss, I would say. Long, but not hard. It's pretty easy to avoid all of his attacks, except the little flames. The little, not the flame in fire, but the other flames. And it takes about 13 or 12 rounds of 5 hits with the Phoenix to hit him, so about 60 touch on him. Yes, the laser. Thank you. So laser
Yeah.
are hard to avoid. The rest of his attacks you can easily avoid.
Yeah, this is a pretty safe fight with Super Bracelet, which we got early on. One thing to note is that one of the little things for speeding up this fight is lag management by not swinging your sword too much, because this fight is another place where the game can lag really easy.
Yes, that's very true. That's why he's using crab walk to kill the blue flames.
you could see some of the lag on the whole screen there.
And Solar is going into Blaster. Will he find his grandma and his access to the right tower? And GG to the Hulk, our winner for this race this afternoon.
Coming in just barely underneath 2 hours 15 minutes. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in for the race. We'll see if we can get the Hulk in for an interview in a couple minutes.
So again, give a follow to our two racers today, Le Hulk and Solar Cells 007, both super great speedrunner of SNES RPG games. And if you want to try this randomizer, we'll put the link in the chat. Feel free to join our Discord. We're always happy to have some new people who want to try it. And we'll post the link right away. Thank you, Stormy. Thank you, Benjalator, for your kind words. And here he is. Bonjour.
Salut. Hello. Hi, everyone.
How are you?
How's it going? I'm fine, thanks. What a
What
seed,
a
though.
race!
What a seed.
Blaster opening the right tower. Wow.
Lester had all the value.
Yeah,
And
both of you were putting off Blester for a long time.
yeah, there was
So-
always a better option to do.
How do you feel? How do you feel about your performance today?
I think it was okay. The choices I made, I don't think they were too bad. Honestly, the seed was really trolley on the location. Some of the key NPCs. I ended up doing most of, I think all of Loon and Lanol were completely useless, as well as almost all Act 5 and all of Magrid base. They were all complete busts.
Yes.
That's quite insane.
Yeah, we got 3 stones early and then had a drought for like an hour and a half.
Yes. Yeah,
And what do you feel you struggle the most with in this seed?
decision making, I guess. Remember what my options are. 'Cause I left a lot of things on the side. I left Blester because I really didn't have a good feeling with Blester, and I went back to Act 5, do some. It was all about keeping some things in mind, make sure that I don't forget about locations. Also had the sleepy mushroom that I did not do. Was about to be my next option. And when you play this kind of game, it's complicated to make sure that remember all your options, don't end up forgetting something.
Oh yes, that's definitely one of the things about Randomizer is there's a ton of little checks.
Yeah.
They're just all over the place. Uh, Honestly, for most of the seed, I was excited to see the Dr. Leo cutscene and see what was in there, and you wound up just noping out of there, and I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed, but I could also understand.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yes,
realized I was going for the cutscene, and I realized that cutscene was very long. It opened up 2 items, and I had so many items everywhere which were opened, and it was probably a better idea to check those first, then come back if needed. So I was about to go back to every world at one, two, three, because I had items everywhere. And the first check I did in Act 1, the tool shop owner ended up being the right one.
yes.
So there we
And
go. It was a good idea to bait.
I was yelling, "Go check the dolphin! Go check the dolphin!"
Yes.
So, how long have you been playing this Soul Blazer Rando?
Well, pretty much uh, as long as it has existed. It's
So
2018.
2018. Okay, perfect. So congratulations again. Nice race.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You have no idea how close you two were for a long time. We couldn't say who was in advance
Mm, yeah,
because
because
Solar
I guess
Cell
that
found
yes.
Solar Cell
Go
found
ahead.
the soul armor at the very beginning of the game, but you found
Oh,
the Phoenix so much before him, so it was
okay.
hard to say who was in advance.
Yeah.
I for one was holding my breath for a long time to wait to see if the big pearl or the mushroom shoes from Zentetsu Sword would come to be relevant because you went back to World 1 and found Zentetsu, whereas a
Yeah.
solar cell went into the fire shrine and missed those layers until much later.
Yeah.
But they were
That ended up being a good idea because I got Zantetsu, so I could complete Fire Shrine, but I don't think I got anything relevant from it. Or I don't remember.
yeah, the two things you got from Fire Shrine then were the big pearl and one of the cats that later led to the mouse hole where you got the mushroom shoes. So I was waiting a long, long time to see if those would be relevant.
Yeah, and it was a complete waste of time.
So thanks again for being there this year. Unfortunately, we lost the Benjanator at the beginning of the race. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, so that's on
Okay.
Discord. Sorry about you, Benja. Sorry.
and we take this time again to say thank you to Ninma Art, who did the beautiful drawing you're seeing on screen right now. It's the prize for the tournament this year. And
Yeah.
also, we have one to give away tomorrow and the final race on Speed Gaming English and Speed Gaming French. And stay tuned. We have another race going on at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And don't forget also to watch our finals tomorrow morning at noon, and give a follow to all of our competitor this week, this weekend. Sorry, and thank you very much, Stormy, for commentating with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I said at the start of this I wanted to participate, but I wasn't able to sign up due to other things going on, so I'm glad I could at least commentate.
And thank you very much for Speed Gaming, who are having us this weekend, all weekend for our tournament. Thank you very much.
Thanks to all the staff, the commentators. Did a great job, and of course, GG to all the runners. Good
Yes.
luck to Group C, and then come up
Yeah.
soon.
Good. Group C coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you very much again, and see you at 4 o'clock.
Yep. See you there. Bye.